I want to tell you about a phone call. A teacher, 11 years in the classroom, genuinely gifted, the kind of person children remember for the rest of their lives, received an email on a Thursday afternoon. It was from a parent. It accused her of targeting their child, of being unfair, of failing to meet their child's needs. It was copied to the principal, the vice principal, and the district office. The child in question had that morning thrown a chair. The teacher had cried in the bathroom at lunchtime and then gone back in and taught 4 more lessons. I am not going to tell you that teacher's name, but I want you to know she left teaching 8 months later. And the child, still struggling, still waiting for someone to give them what they actually need. This video is about that gap between the complaint and the truth, between the fight and the child sitting in the middle of it, and about what psychology tells us is really going on when a parent declares war on a school. Let me describe something to you, and I want you to tell me in the comments if this sounds familiar. There is a parent, you know them before you meet them because you have heard the name. Teachers say it quietly. Their child is in your class this year, and there is a look exchanged. You know the look. This parent emails frequently, not occasionally, frequently. Every grade, every social incident, every moment their child experienced discomfort is documented and submitted. When something happens in school, and something always happens, it's a school because children are human beings and school is a complex social environment. This parent does not call to understand, they call to accuse. And here is the part that costs teacher the most. The school, afraid of escalation, afraid of complaint procedures, afraid of being named in a formal review, sides with the parent. Some parents have fused their identity so completely with their child's performance that a struggling child feels like a publicly struggling parent. The complaint isn't really about the teacher, it's about the intolerable feeling of being seen as a parent who could not get this right. The school became the mirror and they don't like what they see in it. So they try to break the mirror. I need to spend some time here because this part of the story almost never gets told. We talk about parent advocacy, we talk about parental rights, we talk about holding schools accountable. We almost never talk about what a sustained parental complaint campaign does to a human being who chose to spend their life helping children. It produces something called moral injury. Moral injury is not the same as stress. It is not the same as burnout. It is the specific psychological wound that occurs when you are prevented from doing what you know to be right or when you are punished for doing it. When a teacher is accused of targeting a child they have been lying awake worrying about, when a teacher is called into a meeting to answer allegations from a parent who has never spent a single day managing 30 children, when a teacher watches their principal apologize on their behalf for something that required no apology, something breaks quietly, not dramatically. It doesn't announce itself, it just changes things. The next child who needs extra support, the teacher hesitates slightly longer before engaging because Engaging closely means risk now. The next difficult conversation with the parent, the teacher softens what needed to be said because truth became dangerous. The care is still there, but it's been armored. And armored care is not the same as free care. And children feel the difference. This is what a single sustained parent complaint does to the ecosystem of a classroom. Now multiply that across a career, across a school, across a profession, and ask yourself why the people who were most built to care for children are leaving. It is not the children, it is almost never the children. So, what do we do with this? Because I am not interested in making teachers feel validated and then leaving them in the same situation. Validation without a next step is just content. First, for school leaders, the moment you side with the complaint over evidence, because it is easier, you have just told every teacher in your building that their professionalism is worth less than a parent's anger. They will not tell you, but they will remember and they will make decisions accordingly. A skilled school leader investigates before they respond. They acknowledge the parent's concern without conceding the teacher's competence. They hold the boundary between parental involvement and parental interference. And they do it early because once the pattern is established, it is almost impossible to disrupt. For teachers, and I know this is hard to hear, you cannot outcare a systematic problem. You cannot be professional enough, patient enough, or documented enough to fully protect yourself from a determined parent complaint in a system that won't back you. What you can do is this: document everything, not defensively but precisely. Build relationship with the parents who are reasonable before any conflict exists. And this is the most important one: do not absorb the accusation in your identity. You know what you did, you know why you did it. The complaint is data about the parent's internal world. It is not a verdict on your worth as a teacher. And for parents watching this, the ones this video is quietly about, I am going to ask you something directly. When you think about your child's school, do you feel like you are going there to partner with them? Or do you feel like you are going there to fight? Because if it's fighting, that feeling deserves your attention, not your child's teacher's attention. Yours. Your child does not need you to win the battle with their school. They need you and their school to be on the same side. And getting there might require you to look at something much older than anything that happened in that classroom. I'm going to end this the way I try to end everything. Honestly, this topic is going to make some people angry. That's fine. Anger is usually the first layer. Underneath the anger, you wait long enough, is usually something much more honest. If you are a teacher who needed to hear this, I hope it felt like someone finally counted what it cost you. If you are a school leader who recognized yourself in this, I hope it felt like a door rather than a wall. And if you are a parent who sat with this uncomfortably, that discomfort is not accusation. It's an invitation. The children in our school are not separate from the adults around them. They are made of us. They carry what we carry. They fight the fights we haven't finished. They ask the questions we never got answered. The best thing we can ever do for a child in a school, in a home, anywhere, is to be willing to look at ourselves first. Thank you for watching this. If it meant something to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Not to send a message, but because this conversation finally, spoken out loud, might change something for a child somewhere. And that's always been the point.